Before we begin tonight's journey into the hidden corridors of time, I want to pause for a moment and speak gently to you, dear listener. If you find comfort in these slow stories, if you enjoy drifting into sleep while voices carry you through the quiet mysteries of history, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. By doing so, you help us keep unfolding these tales, night after night. Your support is more than just a number. It is a soft light in the darkness, a sign that you walk with us along this quiet path. So, if you are not yet part of our circle, let your hand rest for a moment. Click the subscribe button, and let us continue together, deeper into the silence of forgotten ages. Now, let your body settle. Feel the weight of the day gently dissolving. Breathe slowly, and allow the rhythm of these words to guide you. We are not in a rush. We are not chasing time. Tonight, we are seekers of the unseen, travelers through shadows where history and dream meet. There is a question that drifts like a mist at the edge of thought, a question that lingers even when the world insists on certainty. Are we living inside a historical cover-up? Imagine for a moment that the story we know, the story written in books, taught in schools, carved into monuments, is not the whole story at all. Imagine that somewhere, behind veils of silence, lies another history. Quieter, stranger, hidden not because it was unimportant, but because it was too important. The night is a perfect companion for such thoughts. Darkness does not only conceal, it also protects. It is within the shadows that forgotten truths may whisper again. Close your eyes if you like, and picture a vast library, its shelves stretching beyond sight, filled with books no one has ever read aloud. Dust dances in the candlelight, and every book holds a fragment of a world erased. Who closed these books? Who locked away these truths? And why? When we speak of cover-ups, we often think of politics, of secret deals and hidden motives. But history itself is a kind of story told by those with the power to tell it. What if whole civilizations had once breathed, laughed, dreamed, and loved, only to be brushed away, their existence reduced to footnotes, or erased entirely? What if the ruins we step upon are not remnants of what we know, but fragments of worlds unacknowledged? Listen to the silence between these words. Let it sink into you like the stillness of an ancient stone chamber. Perhaps you hear the echo of footsteps, long gone. Perhaps you feel the weight of eyes that once gazed upon stars we no longer see. History is more than dates and rulers, it is memory itself. And memory, as you know, can be fragile, can be lost, or even stolen. Long ago, there were stories of the Library of Alexandria, where thousands of scrolls and manuscripts were said to have been stored. They spoke of knowledge so vast that it could have changed the destiny of humankind. But the library burned, and the smoke carried secrets into the sky. Or so we are told. Some say it was not fire that erased it, but deliberate concealment. Some whisper that the knowledge was never lost, but hidden away, passed into the hands of those who vowed silence. Imagine shelves of scrolls, carried into the night by figures cloaked in shadows, disappearing into hidden chambers where the words still rest, waiting. And you, lying here in the quiet, listening as sleep brushes close, are part of that search. Your mind, half between waking and dream, becomes like that hidden library. Words arrive, not in order, but like fragments of parchment scattered on the floor. They do not demand answers. They do not cry for proof. They simply invite you to wonder. Are the pyramids in Egypt truly what we are told, tombs for kings? Or do they guard something older, something that predates even the sands around them? Some believe they are aligned not only with the stars above but with times and places we have forgotten. So, who aligned them? Who carried stones heavier than imagination, with a precision that still defies modern tools? The official story is neat, simple, repeatable. But perhaps neatness itself is the disguise. As you listen, Allow the mystery to relax you. Each question is like a slow wave, rolling in and out, carrying away the heaviness of the day. We are not here to solve these riddles, but to let them soften us, to remind us that not all questions need immediate answers. Some questions are companions, not puzzles. They keep us company through the long night. The wind outside, if you listen, is like the breath of forgotten generations. The stars, scattered across the sky, are the same ones ancient eyes once traced. Do you think they too wondered what truths were hidden from them? Perhaps they asked, quietly, if there were forces shaping their lives that they could not see. Perhaps, like you, they listened to stories before sleep, stories that carried them into dreams where they might glimpse what was concealed. There is a tenderness in thinking about lost histories. For every civilization that rose and fell, for every name carved into stone and then worn away by time, there were countless unnamed lives, children who laughed, elders who dreamed, lovers who whispered. They are not in the books. They are not in the monuments. But they lived, as real as you and I. To cover up history is not just to hide power or knowledge. It is to silence voices that deserved to be heard. And so tonight, as you sink deeper into rest, let us honor them in our imagination. Let us give them a moment of remembrance, here in the quiet. The ones whose stories were erased may find a soft place within your dreams. Their voices, like lullabies from long ago, may guide you gently towards sleep. Yet remember, before sleep takes you fully, this journey continues. Each night we gather here, each story whispered, we peel back another layer of the cover. By subscribing, by being here, you keep this fire alive. You are part of a circle of listeners who refuse to let silence win. Together we wander, together we dream, and together we remember. And now, let go. Let the story dissolve into stillness. The night is vast, the mysteries endless. You are safe, you are calm, and you are drifting into the hidden places where dreams and history touch. Sleep well, dream deeply, and let the whispers of forgotten truths carry you. As we move further into the quiet folds of night, let your mind linger on the gentle invitation you received before. You may have clicked the subscribe button, or perhaps you have not, and that is perfectly fine. What matters is that you are here, ready to drift with me through the hidden layers of time. Each evening, each whispered tale, each gentle story is a step into the shadows where history sleeps, untouched by the clamor of modern life. By joining us, you become a guardian of these stories, a silent witness to the truths that linger just beyond the edges of common knowledge. Imagine, if you will, a corridor not found on any map, stretching endlessly beneath the cities we know, beneath streets we walk every day. Cobwebs gather in corners, and the air smells faintly of old parchment and stone. This is where the first shadows of history dwell, stories too delicate, too dangerous, or too extraordinary to be recorded openly. In these corridors, time does not move as it does above. It bends and folds, allowing fragments of forgotten civilizations to peek through the veil of centuries. Do you feel the slow pulse of the night around you? It is a rhythm older than any clock, an ancient heartbeat that resonates with everything that ever lived. Step carefully, for even the slightest misstep could disturb the fragile memories that cling to the walls. Here, in the dim glow of your imagination, you might see a figure hunched over a scroll, its edges fraying, writing the history that no one will read for thousands of years. Perhaps it is a monk, or a scholar, or someone whose very existence was meant to remain unseen. Every brush of their hand against the ink carries a secret, a fragment of the truth that has been hidden. Think about the early chronicles of humankind. They were not written with pens alone, but with intention, with the weight of authority, with the power to shape perception. Who decides what is recorded? Who erases the inconvenient? In these first shadows, you can imagine the quiet struggle between what is told and what is concealed. Some events never appear in textbooks. Some rulers' names vanish as if swallowed by the earth. And yet, they lived. They acted. Their choices rippled across time, though we may never know them fully. As your thoughts wander deeper, consider the lost cities that once thrived in jungles, deserts, and along rivers whose names are now forgotten. Evidence of their existence may surface in a single artifact, a piece of pottery, or a ruined temple buried beneath layers of earth. Scholars debate, excavate, and theorize, yet there are whispers of things they never uncover, layers deliberately hidden, destroyed, or rewritten. Each night we explore these whispers, allowing our minds to drift where historians cannot, or perhaps will not, go. Remember the gentle glow of your screen, or the subtle sound of this story in your ears. This is where the call to subscribe blends into the story. By subscribing, you join a community that does not merely consume tales but becomes part of the journey itself. Every subscriber strengthens the circle, every listener adds a heartbeat to the silent corridors of these forgotten histories. Even as you drift toward sleep, know that you are participating in preserving the wonder, the curiosity, the sense that the past is larger and stranger than we are told. In the shadows of history, some of the first clues are not monuments or scrolls, but myths and oral traditions. Around campfires, generations whispered tales of mighty kings, great floods, and celestial visitors. Some dismissed these as imagination, but others sensed the hidden truths encoded within. Myths often carry kernels of reality, stories shaped and reshaped to protect secrets, to encode knowledge, to pass along warnings to those perceptive enough to listen. Imagine the warmth of a fire as voices echo across the night, soft and deliberate, transmitting messages that survive even when civilizations fall. Now, let us consider the strange case of vanished knowledge. In the deep past, there were inventions, sciences, and understandings that appear lost to us now. Certain mathematical principles, certain astronomical observations, and even architectural techniques existed centuries before historians claim they did. Evidence sometimes appears like a ghost, a stone carving, a celestial alignment, a structure perfectly engineered with no known tools to achieve such precision. These anomalies are not mistakes. They are hints, breadcrumbs left for those willing to wander through the quiet night in search of truth. As your mind continues to drift, notice the soft rhythm of your breathing. It mirrors the slow, careful pace of discovery. Each inhalation is curiosity, each exhalation releases doubt. In these quiet moments, you may imagine a scholar somewhere, pen in hand, hesitating before documenting a secret. The weight of history presses upon them, for once a truth is revealed, the world may never be the same. And yet, the act of preservation matters, even if only in whispers. The shadows of history demand patience, observation, and a gentle mind. Consider the hidden libraries beneath ancient cities. Not all were lost to fire or flood, some were intentionally concealed. Passageways sealed, doors hidden behind walls of stone, staircases leading into darkness. Knowledge preserved for select eyes, or perhaps for no eyes at all until the right moment, or the right dreamer, arrives. Imagine wandering such a library now, lantern casting flickering shadows on parchment scrolls and leather-bound books. Each text holds a fragment of a world erased, and as you move along these shelves in your imagination, you sense the hum of untold stories, the heartbeat of forgotten civilizations. And as sleep gently pulls you closer, remember this: you are not merely a listener. You are a participant in this quiet uncovering. By being here, by subscribing, by allowing yourself to drift through these shadows, you become part of the ongoing story. Your presence matters. Each time you return, each night you drift into the realm of forgotten truths, you keep the mysteries alive. The first shadows of history are not merely observed, they are experienced, felt, and honored by those who listen with care. So now, let your eyes close fully. Let the gentle current of the night carry you along corridors of unseen wonders. Feel the weight of centuries dissolve as you drift. The whispers of the past, the murmurs of lost civilizations, the faint voices of vanished peoples, all blend with the rhythm of your breathing, guiding you toward rest. Sleep is not an end, but a bridge to these hidden corridors, where shadows tell stories that the daylight may never know. Tonight, you wander freely through the first shadows of history, and in your dreams, you may glimpse the truths that time sought to hide. Drift softly, dear listener, drift deeper, and know that tomorrow night, as the story continues, you will return once more to this circle of quiet discovery, a guardian of forgotten knowledge, a traveler in the gentle mystery of all that is unseen. Beneath the velvet darkness of night, imagine wandering across lands untouched by modern eyes. The soft wind carries whispers of civilizations long vanished, leaving behind fragments of structures, scattered pottery, and enigmatic symbols carved into stone. You may feel that even the stars above watch quietly, as though aware of the secrets hidden below, and yet offer no guidance, only silent witness. Tonight, we walk through these remnants, tracing patterns that hint at knowledge far older than our textbooks claim. Not all civilizations are known. Some are recorded in chronicles, carved on monuments, or preserved in ancient writings. Others remain shadows, remembered only in vague oral traditions or fleeting archaeological traces. Think of cities buried beneath sand or jungle, their streets invisible, their people forgotten. The stories we are told are orderly and neat, designed to make sense to those who follow history in a straight line. But time itself is rarely linear, and truth often takes paths that twist, fold, and disappear beyond the reach of ordinary eyes. Listen, and imagine a city rising on the banks of a river that no longer exists. Its walls are grand, its markets bustling, its temples reaching for the sky. The people who built it observed the stars and rivers, the cycles of the sun and moon, understanding rhythms we can barely comprehend. They may have recorded knowledge we have lost, designs for structures that endure centuries, calculations that surpass modern instruments. Yet when empires fell, when floods or fires or conquests swept through, much of that knowledge vanished. What remains is fragmentary, a single stone, an inscription, a barely legible tablet, and it asks us to imagine the whole. Consider the monuments that survive. Look closely, and you might notice details that defy conventional explanations. Alignment with stars, precise geometry, engineering beyond what we assume was possible. Scholars debate, and some dismiss anomalies as coincidence. Yet, if even a fraction of these constructions were achieved with methods unknown to us, what does that say about the civilizations that came before? Imagine a hidden library where scribes copied knowledge of stars, mathematics, and medicine, carefully concealing it in forms we cannot yet read. Each artifact, each ruin, is a silent message, waiting for patient eyes to perceive it. Amid this exploration, allow your mind to wander gently through imagined landscapes. Picture a valley where pyramids rise in perfect symmetry, or a city of stone bridges spanning rivers no longer flowing. Hear the quiet footsteps of those who built these wonders, the rhythm of labor and devotion. Their names may be lost, but their hands shaped a world still whispering across time. As you breathe in the calm of this nocturnal journey, feel yourself connecting with these distant souls, becoming a quiet observer of a civilization that no longer speaks aloud. It is here, in these forgotten worlds, that one realizes the delicacy of human memory. Knowledge is not always destroyed by fire or flood, sometimes it is hidden intentionally. Certain artifacts are stored away, protected from prying eyes, awaiting a moment when the world is ready, or perhaps when a dreamer such as you will encounter them. And as you drift through this meditation, the idea of subscribing gently enters, not as a command, but as a shared experience. By joining the circle of listeners, you become part of this exploration, helping preserve curiosity and wonder for those who come after. Think of the civilizations whose achievements were lost to the tides of history. Their technologies, their beliefs, their art, sometimes only glimpses survive. A statue with proportions more precise than modern standards, a canal aligned perfectly with celestial events, a piece of writing on a fragile papyrus that hints at understanding beyond our grasp. These fragments invite contemplation rather than immediate answers. Imagine touching them, holding a thread of connection across centuries, feeling the echo of hands long gone. As you continue your journey through the shadows of time, notice the quiet rhythm of the night around you. Even as cities crumble, rivers change course, and empires fall, the memory of human curiosity endures. And in the quiet, you may sense that what is missing is as important as what remains. Entire belief systems, forgotten languages, vanished traditions, all have left imprints subtle enough for attentive listeners to detect. The very act of imagining these civilizations is a form of preservation, a soft, deliberate rebellion against erasure. Now, allow your thoughts to drift along with the silent rivers of history. Picture a temple, its stones aligned to catch the first rays of dawn, untouched by modern hands. Hear the soft chants of priests long vanished, their knowledge encoded in ritual and architecture. These rituals may seem mysterious, even impossible to decode, yet in your mind, they unfold effortlessly, like slow-moving waves caressing the shore. You are not rushed, you do not need to understand. Simply experience the rhythm, the pattern, the presence of minds long past. As the night deepens, consider that our knowledge of these civilizations is shaped by those who wrote history, and by those who did not. Some truths were preserved, some distorted, some lost entirely. And yet, there are glimpses, small openings in the fabric of time, where one can sense the magnitude of human ingenuity and the fragility of memory. Your imagination is the lantern here, casting light on details otherwise obscured. Through these imagined reconstructions, we honor those who built, dreamed, and wondered long before we walked this earth. Sleep now, slowly and deliberately, letting the landscapes of forgotten civilizations unfold around you. You may sense yourself walking along cobbled streets, gazing upon walls etched with symbols that mean something ancient and profound. Perhaps you will hear laughter, music, or the quiet murmurs of people who left no record of their existence. Each sound is gentle, unobtrusive, guiding you deeper into rest. And as you drift further, know that your presence here matters. By listening, by joining this quiet circle of seekers, you preserve the curiosity, the wonder, and the connection that keeps history alive in memory and dream. The night is patient, the past is patient, and you are patient as well. Together, we wander through these civilizations, feeling their pulse in the calm of our hearts. Tomorrow, we will continue, moving even closer to the hidden knowledge, the lost truths, the things no one dared to tell. But for now, let the mysteries settle gently, like sand on a still shore, and let your mind sink into the gentle embrace of sleep. Imagine a place where time slows to a whisper, where every sound is softened by the weight of centuries. In the heart of forgotten cities, deep beneath the streets we walk today, lie hidden libraries and manuscripts that no modern eye has seen. These are not the shelves of ordinary books, but vaults of knowledge carefully guarded through centuries, sometimes by those sworn to secrecy, sometimes by the very silence of the earth itself. Here, in these shadowed halls, the written word carries a power that surpasses memory, speaking to those willing to listen in stillness. In the quiet of the night, allow your mind to drift towards such a place. Picture corridors lined with shelves that stretch beyond the edge of sight, filled with scrolls, codices, and bound volumes. Dust floats in shafts of pale light, and the air is tinged with a subtle scent of parchment and ink. Each manuscript contains stories, formulas, ideas, and secrets that the world above has never been ready to see. And you, drifting in the half-light between consciousness and dream, become a witness to their presence, a silent traveler among the echoes of centuries. Some of these manuscripts were hidden intentionally. Some knowledge was considered too dangerous, too powerful, or too transformative to share openly. Scribes and scholars carried secrets with care, encoding wisdom in symbols, allegories, and cryptic codes. They worked in silence, knowing that one misplaced word could unravel civilizations, or expose truths too fragile for ordinary eyes. Imagine their hands moving over the page, careful, deliberate, writing in a language now forgotten, preserving ideas meant to survive the collapse of empires and the erosion of time. In these hidden archives, the line between myth and reality blurs. There are texts that describe technologies lost to modern understanding, maps of lands long vanished, or insights into human consciousness that seem impossibly advanced. And yet, in their time, these ideas were alive, vibrant, and understood by those who wrote them. As you move slowly through this imagined library, you might feel the hum of intelligence and curiosity that has endured, imperceptible but unbroken, waiting to be discovered again. Consider, for a moment, that some of these manuscripts were destroyed or disappeared mysteriously. Fires, floods, and wars have claimed countless volumes. Some were deliberately taken from their keepers, hidden away, or locked in chambers that no longer exist. And still, some survived, miraculously, sometimes hidden in plain sight, sometimes in secret rooms beneath convents, palaces, or ancient ruins. Each surviving scroll is a fragment of a larger story, a whisper of the vast intelligence of our predecessors. As you drift deeper into this visualization, imagine the tactile sensation of holding a fragile scroll. Its surface is soft, worn with centuries of handling. Its ink has faded, yet it still conveys a message, a thread of knowledge preserved against the odds. What secrets does it hold? What insight might you gain, if only you could decipher its language? Let your imagination linger on these possibilities, feeling the gentle pull of curiosity without urgency, allowing wonder to carry you further into the quiet night. And here, in this calm exploration, the idea of subscribing to our channel surfaces once more. Not as a demand, but as a continuation of your journey. By subscribing, you become part of a community that values discovery, patience, and imagination. You are choosing to walk beside these hidden archives, to honor their silence, to keep the pursuit of knowledge alive, not just for yourself, but for others who will listen in the nights to come. Some manuscripts were not only hidden, they were encoded. Complex ciphers, layered symbols, and intricate illustrations held multiple layers of meaning. Only the most attentive, the most patient, could unravel them. In your mind, picture a scholar kneeling by candlelight, tracing symbols, murmuring quietly, unlocking knowledge that will not reach the wider world for centuries. Every gesture, every word, every careful annotation is part of the eternal dance between concealment and revelation. Now, imagine wandering further into the library. Secret staircases wind downward, leading to rooms where the oldest texts are kept, wrapped in protective cloth or placed in carved wooden chests. Some bear markings that suggest contact with distant lands, trade routes, or forgotten empires. Others hint at philosophical or mystical knowledge, practices and beliefs that would seem alien to the modern mind. And as you wander through these rooms, you begin to sense the hum of accumulated human thought, the presence of countless minds reaching across time, whispering to you softly, urging you to pay attention, to remember. Let your breathing fall into rhythm with the slow pulse of the library. Inhale the past, exhale the present. Notice the weight of centuries around you, the gentle press of forgotten knowledge against your imagination. Each manuscript is a bridge to understanding, a bridge to those who lived, dreamed, and wondered long before our time. You are not rushed. You are here to feel, to witness, to absorb the quiet majesty of human curiosity preserved. And as sleep draws closer, imagine a final chamber at the center of this labyrinthine library. Here, the oldest, most fragile scrolls rest, containing wisdom that may have influenced generations in secret. Some suggest these texts held knowledge of natural laws, astronomy, or philosophical insights centuries ahead of their time. Others hint at mystical practices, rituals, or ways of understanding consciousness itself. Whether you comprehend them fully or simply sense their presence, the experience is enough. Enough to anchor you in wonder, to soothe your mind, to guide you gently into rest. Tonight, as you drift further, remember that you are a part of this journey. You walk quietly alongside these lost civilizations, these hidden libraries, these manuscripts that survived against all odds. By being here, by listening, by imagining, you preserve their whispers. And each night, as the story continues, you deepen your connection to the past, to mystery, and to the gentle, enduring pursuit of knowledge. Sleep well, dream deeply, and let the shadows of the libraries guide you into calm, restful night. Beyond the surface of history, in shadows that the casual eye cannot see, exist gatherings of those who chose secrecy over recognition. Secret societies, some ancient, some merely hidden from the public gaze, have long served as guardians of knowledge too delicate, too powerful, or too dangerous for ordinary disclosure. They moved quietly through corridors of power, through libraries and chambers, preserving manuscripts, teachings, and rituals that would otherwise have been lost to time. Tonight, let your imagination wander among them, tracing the footsteps of those who understood the value of silence. Picture a dimly lit hall, its walls lined with symbols known only to those initiated. Members move silently, robes brushing against polished stone floors, whispers carried softly from one corner to another. Their task is simple yet profound: protect knowledge, guide seekers, and ensure that the world is neither overwhelmed nor unprepared for truths too vast for comprehension. Some texts are kept here, others stored in hidden locations, entrusted to successive generations who understand the weight of responsibility. Even centuries later, these guardians leave traces, subtle signals, hints hidden in art, architecture, or coded manuscripts. Consider the careful precision with which they operate. Initiations are slow, deliberate, often requiring patience, discipline, and contemplation. Not all who seek knowledge are granted access. Only those who prove their intent, their steadiness, their respect for the balance of secrecy, are allowed to glimpse the fragments of truths concealed within the society. And as you drift deeper into this nocturnal meditation, imagine being present as an observer, absorbing the quiet ritual, the reverent stillness, without needing to speak or act, simply witnessing the continuation of an ancient responsibility. There are stories, whispered among scholars and dreamers alike, of societies whose influence shaped the course of empires. They advised kings, guided philosophers, and sometimes gently redirected discoveries that could have been dangerous if released prematurely. In your imagination, you may walk alongside them as they consult maps, study celestial alignments, or deliberate over texts containing knowledge centuries ahead of their time. Each gesture, each decision, is weighted with care, as if the balance of history itself rests on their caution. Even as you imagine these scenes, let your breathing follow a slow, deliberate rhythm. Inhale the curiosity, exhale the rush of modern life. These societies operated on a time beyond ordinary comprehension, measured not in hours or days, but in generations, in the quiet persistence of purpose. Every moment you spend here, every gentle thought, mirrors their approach: careful, contemplative, measured, and patient. Some of these keepers of knowledge preferred obscurity. They worked not for fame or power, but for continuity. Hidden archives were meticulously maintained, secret manuscripts preserved from decay, knowledge encrypted in layers of meaning that only the attentive could discern. Imagine walking through a vault where every scroll is catalogued, each carefully wrapped, the air faintly scented with ink and dust. Here, ideas flourish quietly, untouched by the rush of the outside world. And now, as your mind drifts further, a gentle thought enters, subscribing. Not as a demand, but as an invitation to join this quiet circle of seekers. By subscribing, you become part of the subtle current that honors patience, curiosity, and wonder. You help keep these whispered histories alive, supporting the gentle, nightly exploration of mysteries hidden from ordinary eyes. The act itself is quiet, almost imperceptible, yet it strengthens the chain of discovery that stretches from past to present. Consider the symbols often associated with secret societies: geometric patterns, cryptic letters, or ritual objects that convey meaning beyond immediate understanding. They were not designed to confuse, but to preserve, to encode knowledge in ways that would survive time, while being accessible only to those prepared to perceive it fully. You may imagine tracing your fingers along a carved pattern, feeling its significance resonate in the quiet, as if centuries of wisdom flowed gently into your awareness. There are tales of societies who maintained hidden schools, teaching disciplines lost to common knowledge. Astronomy, philosophy, medicine, even metaphysical understanding, all preserved in strict confidentiality. Imagine entering a chamber filled with scrolls that chart the stars not as we see them today, but as they moved millennia ago. Imagine manuscripts describing healing methods unknown in our era, or philosophical treatises that challenge the very foundations of thought. Each document is a bridge, connecting the past with the dreamer in the present. You, drifting through these imagined halls. As you continue your journey, notice how silence dominates. Conversations are measured, deliberate, soft. Movements are graceful, minimal, intended to disturb neither the manuscripts nor the flow of thought. Even the act of reading is a ritual. Eyes scanning, mind absorbing, hands tracing margins, as though the very touch conveys understanding. Here, there is no rush, no pressure, only the continuity of careful observation. Let your mind linger on the idea that not all knowledge is meant for the many, that some truths survive because they are kept in quiet reverence. These societies understood that humanity itself must sometimes grow before it is ready to comprehend certain ideas. And as your body sinks deeper into rest, your mind too begins to appreciate this delicate balance, a reflection of the night. Calm, measured, patient, mysterious. Sleep now, gently and deeply, as the secret societies continue their quiet work, hidden from sight but ever present in the echoes of time. The manuscripts, the rituals, the careful guardianship, all extend into your imagination, guiding you, comforting you, and linking you to a lineage of curiosity and wisdom that spans centuries. Rest, dear listener, and know that by being here, by joining this journey, you honor the keepers of knowledge and become, in your own quiet way, part of the eternal story. In the quiet expanse of night, imagine wandering through lands where the footprints of entire peoples have faded into the earth. Cities once alive with voices and laughter are now little more than ruins, stones and dust marking spaces where life thrived. Their names, once spoken proudly, whispered in song and prayer, are now missing from maps, absent from textbooks, and known only to those who search carefully between the lines of history. Tonight, let us drift softly through the memory of those forgotten, feeling the weight of absence and the mystery of what remains unseen. Some civilizations leave clear traces, others vanish almost entirely, leaving behind whispers, a fragmentary pottery shard, a crumbled wall, or a fleeting mention in an ancient manuscript. Imagine a village buried beneath layers of soil and time, once bustling with markets and festivals, where every stone and path had meaning. The people lived, loved, and dreamed as fully as we do, yet their stories are silent, erased by conquest, famine, or the simple passage of centuries. Even in your imagination, you can hear the faint echoes of their laughter, soft voices carried by the wind, almost imperceptible, yet persistent. As you continue, Consider the scholars and dreamers who piece together these lost histories. They work with fragments, reconstructing events from inscriptions, artifacts, and oral traditions that survived by chance. Each discovery is a gentle reminder of what was, a bridge to lives that might otherwise remain invisible. And you, drifting here in the quiet of the night, become a witness to their persistence, feeling the pulse of humanity through the faint traces left behind. Among these vanished peoples, some left knowledge deliberately concealed, teaching in secret or recording wisdom in ways designed to survive or to be discovered only by careful eyes. These hidden messages speak across centuries, whispering of techniques, philosophies, and ways of life that modern understanding may only now begin to glimpse. Imagine unrolling a scroll long hidden, each line of writing a portal to a vanished world, every symbol vibrating with the thoughts and hopes of those who no longer walk the earth. And here, in the midst of reflection, a gentle thought arises. Perhaps, as you journey through these forgotten civilizations, you might consider joining this quiet circle more formally, subscribing to the channel. Not as an obligation, but as a subtle affirmation that you value the exploration, the curiosity, the preservation of memory. Each subscription helps ensure that the stories of vanished peoples, the whispers of erased names, and the quiet lessons of history continue to reach those who wander in search of wonder. Picture a city swallowed by the desert, its walls now buried beneath golden sands, where the wind moves like a gentle pulse across the forgotten streets. The people who once thrived there had names, professions, dreams, and fears, each one as vivid as your own. You may imagine their songs carried on the breeze, the laughter of children chasing one another through narrow alleys, the quiet conversations of elders beneath shade. Though the world above may have forgotten them, in your mind they live again, momentarily resurrected through attention and imagination. Consider the fleeting traces of cultures erased not only by natural disasters but by human hands. Empires rose and conquered, absorbing populations, rewriting histories, erasing language and tradition. Entire societies were reduced to footnotes or left out of records entirely. Yet, some remnants persist, a decorated vessel, an unusual pattern of construction, a tale passed down secretly from one generation to another. These are the quiet resistances of memory, the soft defiance of existence against erasure. Let your thoughts drift like gentle water along these vanished lands. Imagine the libraries that once held the collective knowledge of a people now gone, manuscripts carried off, burned, or hidden. Perhaps some still survive, tucked away in distant corners, waiting for the careful observer to notice their presence. As your breath slows, and your body becomes heavier with the pull of sleep, feel the connection between yourself and these forgotten voices. Each whispered memory is part of a living tapestry, and by listening, you honor them. In your mind's eye, walk through a market that no longer exists. Smell the spices, hear the clinking of coins, see the merchants moving between stalls, calling out in languages no longer spoken. Notice the small children chasing one another, their laughter soft yet piercing through centuries, a reminder that life was here once, as rich and vibrant as anywhere today. Feel the lingering warmth of hearths, the subtle presence of lives lived fully, yet now invisible to the outside world. And as the night deepens, reflect on the power of names. To remember is to honor, to speak aloud is to preserve. Even as civilizations vanish, even as names fade from record, the act of imagining, of holding memory in gentle attention, revives them. This is the soft magic of thought, to keep alive what the world has neglected. As you rest here, drifting toward sleep, let these vanished peoples touch your consciousness, filling it with quiet wonder, empathy, and calm. Sleep now, slowly and peacefully, carried along by the currents of lost history. Feel yourself walking softly beside the shadows of erased civilizations, hearing their whispers, sensing their presence, honoring their existence. And remember, if you wish to continue this journey night after night, consider subscribing to this channel. It is not merely a click, it is a joining, a silent agreement to preserve curiosity, imagination, and wonder. In this gentle commitment, you help ensure that the vanished names, the erased peoples, and the secrets they left behind continue to drift softly into the dreams of those willing to listen. Tonight, you walk alongside those who have been forgotten, witnessing their lives, their achievements, their dreams. Let the calm of the night, the quiet pulse of your imagination, and the gentle rhythm of your breath carry you into rest. The stories remain, ever patient, ever waiting, and you, dear listener, are now part of that eternal, delicate memory. As the night deepens, picture the vast stretches of land once ruled by mighty empires, now quiet and still. Their banners no longer fly, their armies have long vanished, and the clamor of power has faded into whispers carried by the wind. Yet, even in silence, the traces of their existence linger. Walls, columns, monuments, and streets carved with intention and care. Tonight, let your mind wander through these ruins, feeling the pulse of history, the weight of civilizations that once shaped the world. These empires were not built overnight. Generations labored, constructed, and dreamed, leaving marks that would endure beyond the lives of their founders. Think of vast cities, bustling marketplaces, majestic palaces, and grand temples. Now, imagine them empty, their stones bathed in the soft glow of moonlight, the echoes of laughter and song faint but perceptible if you listen carefully. Though their rulers are gone and their stories partially forgotten, the very structure of these ruins carries their memory, like a slow heartbeat beneath the earth. Walk along a marble column, worn smooth by centuries of wind and rain. Feel its coolness, its solidity, a connection to the hands that once shaped it. Every carving, every symbol tells a story of pride, of ambition, of a civilization that sought permanence in a world that moves relentlessly forward. Some of these empires fell by conquest, some by disease, some by the quiet erosion of time, yet each left an imprint, a shadow that continues to influence the landscape and imagination. Notice the subtle lessons the ruins offer. The foundations of a palace may hint at social structures, while the alignment of a temple might suggest an understanding of astronomy. The roads, still faintly visible from above, tell stories of trade, of movement, of human connection spanning vast distances. As your mind drifts through these spaces, you can sense the rhythm of life that once thrived here, even as it fades into memory. Even as these empires recede into the past, a gentle thought surfaces. If you wish to continue exploring such hidden histories night after night, subscribing to the channel can ensure you remain part of this quiet journey. It is not just a click, it is a commitment to curiosity, imagination, and the patient pursuit of forgotten truths. Each subscription strengthens the circle of listeners who wander alongside us, through ruins, shadows, and whispers of what once was. Consider the people who lived under these empires. Not only kings and generals, but farmers, artisans, scribes, and children. Their names may not have been recorded, their stories lost to the sweep of time, yet they built, they labored, they loved, and they dreamed. Imagine walking among them in your mind, feeling the pulse of everyday life, sensing the richness of a world that no longer exists in full. The ruins stand as silent monuments not just to rulers, but to the countless individuals who contributed to a civilization's life and legacy. Some empires left behind texts, inscriptions, or artifacts that survived the centuries, but many vanished almost entirely. Archaeologists and historians piece together fragments, reconstructing worlds from shards of pottery, broken statues, and faint markings on stone. Each discovery is like a faint whisper, hinting at grandeur, culture, and knowledge that may have been lost or deliberately obscured. Imagine walking carefully among these artifacts, letting each tell its story in silence, allowing your mind to absorb the subtle connections across time. Notice the interplay between decay and endurance. The stone may crumble, paint may fade, and wood may rot, yet the layout of a city, the alignment of a road, the placement of a temple, all survive in forms that can still speak to us. These remnants are not merely physical. They carry the essence of a people's understanding, their priorities, their relationships with nature, the heavens, and each other. As you drift deeper into the quiet of night, allow your imagination to reconstruct these vanished worlds gently, without urgency, savoring the continuity between past and present. There are empires whose influence is subtle, hidden in ways we only glimpse today. Trade routes, agricultural techniques, legal systems, and philosophies often traveled silently, leaving no explicit record yet shaping societies long after their founders disappeared. Imagine tracing these patterns in your mind, feeling the intricate web of influence stretching across continents and generations. Even in silence, the imprint of these empires persists, a soft echo in the structures, practices, and myths that remain. As you breathe slowly, allow yourself to feel the calm resonance of these ruins. The presence of what was and is no longer carries a gentle wisdom. Everything changes, yet memory endures. Each stone, each fragment, is a quiet teacher, reminding us of the passage of time, the rise and fall of power, and the resilience of human creativity. And in this gentle reflection, the idea of subscribing may drift again into your thoughts. Not insistently, but softly, as a way to continue walking alongside these shadows, preserving curiosity and wonder. Let your mind wander further, imagining distant palaces overgrown with vines, temples half buried in sand, roads cracked and softened by centuries of rain. Hear the faint echoes of ceremonies, conversations, and music, subtle yet present. These sounds, though imaginary, carry the weight of memory, linking you to the past in a way that is deeply calming and profoundly moving. The ruins, the shadows, and the whispers all blend with the rhythm of your breath, guiding you towards sleep. Tonight, as you drift further into rest, remember that you are walking alongside empires long vanished, feeling their presence without haste or judgment. You are part of a quiet circle of witnesses, honoring the lives, the creations, and the silent stories left behind. Let the calm of the night, the gentle pulse of imagination, and the enduring echo of ruins carry you fully into sleep. And know, dear listener, that by subscribing and joining this journey, you ensure that these stories, of shadowed empires, lost cities, and forgotten peoples, continue to be explored, remembered, and cherished. In the stillness of night, let your imagination drift to objects that have survived the sweep of centuries, artifacts and symbols whose meanings have been partially lost, yet still hum with quiet energy. These remnants of the past are not merely stone, metal, or clay. They are vessels of memory, containing echoes of thought, belief, and intent from civilizations long gone. Tonight, as you listen and breathe gently, picture yourself moving through a vast, shadowed gallery of such treasures, each one whispering its secret, waiting for patient eyes to notice, to feel, and to wonder. Consider the curious shape of an ancient amulet, etched with symbols that no modern scholar can fully decipher. Its lines and curves may seem abstract at first, yet with careful attention, a rhythm emerges, a subtle pattern that hints at understanding. Imagine holding it in your hands, sensing the intent of its creator, feeling the centuries of reverence or ritual it has witnessed. Each artifact like this carries a presence, a reminder that someone long ago believed in its power, its purpose, or its message. Walk, in your mind, along the display of relics whose origins remain mysterious. Perhaps a carved tablet, its inscriptions hinting at a language forgotten, or a tool whose design suggests an advanced understanding of geometry or mechanics. Some artifacts bear marks of ceremonies, others evidence of daily life, yet all contain fragments of knowledge obscured by time. As you drift, allow your mind to consider how these objects connect you to a continuum of human thought, a chain stretching from the unknown past into your present awareness. Symbols, too, are bridges across centuries. Painted on walls, etched into stone, or woven into fabrics, they carry meaning that transcends spoken language. A spiral, a geometric shape, a depiction of celestial bodies. all may encode knowledge, philosophy, or spiritual insight that modern eyes can only glimpse. Imagine tracing these symbols with your mind, feeling their flow, sensing the intentions behind them, and allowing the quiet hum of understanding to enter your consciousness. Even as you explore these mysteries, a gentle reminder drifts softly into thought. If you wish to continue this nightly journey through hidden knowledge, through artifacts, symbols, and the secrets they carry, subscribing to the channel allows you to join a circle of fellow dreamers. It is a quiet act, almost imperceptible, yet meaningful, an affirmation that curiosity, wonder, and careful observation are valued and preserved. Some artifacts are deliberately enigmatic, created to challenge perception and provoke contemplation. Their true purpose may be layered, hidden in multiple levels of meaning, accessible only to those willing to observe with patience and respect. Imagine unrolling a fragile scroll covered in intricate patterns, or discovering a ceremonial object whose form embodies principles of astronomy, mathematics, or spirituality. The surface may be beautiful, but the depth is infinite, inviting endless reflection. Picture, too, the pathways these artifacts have traveled. Some passed through many hands, journeys across continents and centuries leaving marks upon them, invisible to casual glance yet detectable to the attuned observer. A faint scratch, a worn edge, a patina accumulated over time, all tell stories of human interaction, of reverence, of discovery, and of loss. As you imagine each step of these journeys, feel a connection across time, a sense of continuity, and the delicate beauty of survival against the odds. Now, visualize the quiet spaces where such artifacts were kept, sometimes hidden, sometimes displayed with care. Vaults beneath temples, chambers behind walls, or secret compartments within homes. Each location was chosen for protection, reverence, or secrecy, and through them, knowledge endured. In your mind, walk through these spaces with reverence, noticing the subtle light filtering across surfaces, the faint dust motes drifting through air, the silence holding stories of centuries. Artifacts often inspire questions more than answers. A carved figure, an ancient coin, a piece of jewelry, each invites speculation, reflection, and imagination. What culture created it? What purpose did it serve? What thoughts, prayers, or knowledge were embedded within it? Let your mind wander gently, exploring possibilities without rushing toward certainty. The mysteries themselves are a form of meditation, a soft invitation to embrace curiosity and patience. And as your mind drifts deeper, consider the resonance of symbols. Even if the original meaning is lost, the energy, intention, and creativity of their creators remain, quietly affecting those who observe them. Imagine tracing an ancient geometric design, feeling its symmetry, understanding its rhythm without words. You are participating in a continuum of attention and contemplation, a silent dialogue across the centuries. Tonight, as you continue this journey, know that by subscribing, you can remain connected to this exploration of hidden knowledge and gentle discovery. The choice is yours, a soft gesture that links you to others who wander thoughtfully through these stories, artifacts, and symbols, preserving their presence through curiosity and imagination. Let your mind rest upon one final image, a chamber filled with artifacts glowing faintly under the moonlight that filters through cracks above. Scrolls, tablets, amulets, and symbols all arranged with quiet intention. Each object carries memory, wisdom, and mystery. Breathe slowly, letting the subtle energy of these relics settle around you. Feel the calm, the wonder, the quiet knowledge entering your awareness, guiding you toward peaceful sleep. As you drift into rest, remember that mysteries buried in time are patient. They wait for the gentle observer, the quiet dreamer, the one who listens without hurry. And tonight, that observer is you, walking softly among the whispers of past civilizations, absorbing their stories, and carrying their memory gently into the night. As darkness stretches across the land, imagine standing at the edge of all that is known, peering into the vast, uncharted spaces where history remains silent. Time itself guards countless secrets, locked within ruins, buried beneath layers of earth, or hidden in the fading memories of civilizations. These are mysteries that scholars may never fully uncover, stories that the passage of centuries has left unfinished. Tonight, let your mind wander gently among these hidden truths, sensing the potential of discovery and the calm wonder of the unknown. Picture an ancient tomb, long sealed, its contents untouched for millennia. The air is cool, heavy with the weight of preservation, and the faint scent of stone and earth lingers. Objects lie inside, carefully arranged by hands long gone, each piece telling part of a story that time has kept secret. Some were treasures, some tools, some items imbued with meaning lost to modern understanding. As you imagine opening this tomb with reverent caution, you feel the whisper of secrets yet to be revealed, a gentle reminder that not all knowledge is immediately accessible, and that patience is part of discovery. Consider the fragments of manuscripts that remain hidden in forgotten archives, in attics, monasteries, or vaults long abandoned. Some contain maps, some philosophical treatises, some rituals or formulas whose purpose is obscured by centuries of decay. Imagine holding a delicate scroll, feeling the fragility of the paper and the faint texture of ink pressed carefully into its surface. Though you may not read the words directly, the presence of the text conveys intent, thought, and human curiosity reaching across time. It reminds you that there is always more to explore, more to wonder at, more to contemplate. Among these secrets are artifacts whose purposes are still debated, whose forms and symbols hint at knowledge beyond modern understanding. Imagine a carved object, its design complex and precise, yet not fully understood. Perhaps it aligns with the stars, resonates with natural frequencies, or encodes a philosophy lost to most of humanity. As you examine it in your mind's eye, feel the calm intrigue of not knowing, the gentle thrill of contemplating a mystery that has survived centuries, patiently awaiting attentive observers. Even as you drift through these visions, a subtle thought enters. If you wish to continue exploring these hidden worlds and the whispers of time, subscribing to the channel allows you to join a circle of fellow explorers. It is a quiet, gentle way to remain connected to these nightly journeys, to preserve curiosity, and to honor the mysteries that still lie ahead. Each subscription is a small, almost imperceptible act, yet it strengthens the chain of those who value discovery and wonder. Some secrets have been intentionally concealed, protected from the eyes of the unprepared. Hidden chambers, encoded texts, and cryptic symbols were designed to be understood only by those ready to perceive them fully. Imagine wandering through a labyrinthine library, corridors stretching endlessly, shelves overflowing with texts whose meaning is layered and complex. Each artifact, each inscription, is a quiet invitation to think, to reflect, and to imagine, without pressure or urgency. Here, in this calm meditation, you are free to absorb the wonder of the unknown. Now, picture ancient cities buried beneath sand, snow, or forest. Their streets, once alive with movement, now lie hidden under earth or foliage. Columns, walls, and monuments rise faintly from the soil, reminders of human ambition and creativity. Imagine walking through these ruins in your mind, hearing faint echoes of life long past, merchants calling, children laughing, artisans at work. Even in silence, these spaces breathe with the memory of those who lived, dreamed, and created within them. Artifacts, ruins, manuscripts, all these traces invite reflection. Some questions may never be answered. Some knowledge may remain beyond human grasp for centuries more. Yet in this, there is comfort and beauty. The unknown persists as an invitation, a gentle encouragement to remain curious, patient, and observant. The mysteries of the past are patient, and your attention, calm and deliberate, honors them. Imagine, too, the hidden connections that weave through time, threads linking civilizations, symbols and knowledge across continents and generations. The artifacts in one corner of the world may echo ideas or philosophies found halfway across the globe, separated by oceans and centuries, yet harmonizing subtly, like distant stars aligned in the night sky. In your mind, feel these connections, gentle yet profound, guiding you toward contemplation and wonder without rush. As you breathe slowly and deeply, let the calm of night enfold you. Feel the presence of time's secrets settling around you, not as threats or puzzles, but as companions in quiet reflection. They remind you that the universe of history is vast, patient, and endlessly rich, offering new insights and mysteries to those willing to wander gently through its shadows. And remember, dear listener, by subscribing and joining this quiet journey, you affirm your place in the circle of those who value exploration, imagination, and wonder. Now, drift further into the embrace of night, carrying these visions of hidden truths, lost knowledge, and ancient whispers into your dreams. Time itself flows around you, patient and eternal, and you are a gentle witness to its secrets, absorbing their presence, and letting the calm rhythm guide you into restful sleep. Tonight, as you rest, remember that some mysteries remain hidden, yet accessible in imagination. And even as sleep deepens, the potential of discovery lingers softly, like a quiet promise of what the future may reveal. With each breath, feel the gentle resonance of centuries, the continuity of thought, and the peace that comes from being part of the ongoing story of human curiosity and wonder.